You know what? Just roll the clip.
It's been 84 years.
Hi, I'm LadyJenevia, and on my channel I talk about entertainment media. We finally have a release date, or should I say release dates, because we're still doing the half and half model.
Smells like a hot toilet at a carnival.
Bridgerton Season 4 will be releasing episodes 1 through 4 on January 29th and episodes 5 through 8 on February 26th of 2026. This is the long-awaited Banofi season, long-awaited for the Asian romance girlies to get to be in the spotlight again, hopefully this time with a spotlight that's large enough to include the whole family of the main girl.
Come on, bro, let's run one.
Dwayne, did you just shift in your seat at me, you little moody ass?
My opinion, if I could change the release drop to still stay around that time period, I would have them release it throughout January and into the earliest stage of February. As a cinema first critic, it's a thing where January tends to largely be a graveyard of sorts. The studio doesn't believe in the film, banish it to January. Either that, or if they want an easier win where you release it in January, knowing that you will have little else to overshadow that. Even now, the only films I have written down as things I'm planning to watch at the cinema in January, they're all horror films. Soulmate, which is the Megan spinoff, releasing January 9th, 28 years later. The Bone Temple, directed by Nia DaCosta. And then finally, the long-awaited return of the legend himself, Sam Raimi, to the horror genre. Send Help will be releasing January 30th. And then outside of the cinema, we also have the film adaptation of People We Meet on Vacation, releasing on Netflix on January 9th. I already published my source material video on that. So if I was pulling strings, I would have had Bridgerton release the first episode January 1st, since both of these release dates are on Thursdays, so we'll maintain that. And it would be festive, a masquerade on New Year's. I would love that. Then we would do one episode a week so as to end on February 12th, which is 2 days before Valentine's Day. So once again, you would be staying on theme. That is, if you believe in a commercialized holiday such as that one, anyway.
In hopes of distracting themselves from the pathetic emptiness of their meaningless
consumer-driven lives.
It must be the sign of the times that the new Emerald Fennell film, her version of Wuthering Heights, is releasing at the cinema on that same week. By the way, I published a source material video about that if you would like to go through the story and all of the discourse about that project and get my opinions on that. In addition to the release date, we also have a new visual teaser. I will admit that I was hoping we would get to see something from scenes we have seen absolutely nothing of yet, but then I heard Julie Andrews' voice and I felt like I was at home.
With each passing season, one is known to experience plenty of ups and downs.
I still want her to do an on-screen cameo on the series at some point, but I don't need to go on a whole tangent about that. It speaks for itself.
So then we must ask ourselves, do we rise to the occasion?
Among other things.
I want to solicit some opinions from the audience. Do we think that this is an actual teaser trailer, or is this merely an extra promotional tidbit that they filmed while they were still in costumes? Because if you know the story, the glove is not removed on a staircase. It's being removed when they are alone together doing a private dance lesson. Sure, that's what we'll call it.
Bit of foreplay, you know, twinkle in the eye, the deed, you know, pregnancy.
They were in a private room in the book, but in the show, we've already seen now, for ages, that the private dance lesson will be happening outside in the garden. What is it about those Bridgertons and gardens? Something about nature, and they just lose all composure.
I get super horny when I travel, and that's not my fault. That's science.
But either way, we can talk about this because I do have some things to say. I didn't think I would be saying those things today because I assumed that they were going to drag things out till much later to start releasing promotional material. I'll have you know, I was at the cinema back in July, as I often am.
It's my favorite movie of all time.
Yeah, me too.
And I looked up, and what do I see on the wall? A poster for Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey, with its release date showing the 17th of July, 2026. And I checked the date of when I was seeing this poster for the first time. It was before the 17th of July, 2025. So they were letting us know over a year in advance when that is coming out, so that all the film critics and pundits are able to add that to our calendars that far ahead of time. It's very considerate of them. Thank you very much. I did not think I would be talking about this today because I was already set to continue working on Maxton Hall Season 2 reviews. I just watched that over the weekend. I'm trying to get ahead of that work, but now, of course, I am enthusiastically obligated to do this first. In this visual teaser, there are two main things I want to address. One, the hand stuff. I always like to see something being communicated about the love story at hand through hand stuff. A quick brush, a nudge, other things.
I know, it's intimidating to fall for a girl with a strong pelvic floor.
It's good crack. Can you tell my algorithms have gone very Irish as of late? The algorithms, they're stalking all of us. It's genuinely alarming. It's a massive invasion of our privacy. But as such, they know that I just finished Ed Maloney's book, and I still have the James Connolly reader on my reading list of things I'm planning to finish reading before the end of this year. Keep an eye out for that, by the way. I'm going to have a video coming out in December going through the full list of what I've read this year. We're talking about adaptations and whatnot. And the other thing that I really like about this visual teaser, the staircase. For those who didn't already know this, staircases are a much beloved tool for screenwriters and directors to communicate something extra, non-verbally, about power dynamics between characters. If you want a prime example of that, that is in the same genre as the topic of this video, The Princess Diaries 2. Funnily enough, who did the screenplay of that film? A now well-known screenwriter. Maybe you've heard of her. Her name is Shonda Rhimes.
Not a joke, just a fact.
Now, I'm not going to do the full explanation of that scene, but you can look it up and watch it again because I know you've already seen it, of Mia and her superior love interest, Nicholas, engaging in banter while they're both on staircases. And they're gradually moving up, but the choreography of when one of them is above the other or when they're on the same height, it's visually emphasizing exactly what's happening in the scene and their relationship. In this Bridgerton teaser, where do we begin? With Benedict at the top of the staircase and Sophie down at the bottom of it. This love story is one with a more significant class difference than the ones we've seen thus far, at least as the central love story of each season. Though Sophie is the daughter of a gentleman, her mother was not from high society, and once her horrible father, who is worth what? Absolutely nothing.
You don't even exist to me.
Once he dies, Sophie is forced to work as a maid. The timing of my mentioning that detail feels odd, considering how recently I did my Wuthering Heights source material video. But anyway, as she's entering this space of this masquerade ball, it's the beginning of her journey towards eventually being lifted upward in society. She's going to eventually fall in love with and marry a gentleman, the second-born son underneath a viscount. I don't remember off the top of my head all of the high society English maths of dukes and viscounts and whatnot, because to be quite frank, I don't care. May all their fortunes be expropriated.
And the government tells me that I am very dangerous.
But what happens when Sophie and Benedict are on the same staircase level? A spark. And once that connection has formed, what happens to their staircase levels? Sophie is now up at the top, with Benedict looking up at her, meaning that once their love story begins, Sophie has more power in their relationship. Not literally per se, since she's still very much the socioeconomically vulnerable person, but emotionally speaking, I would definitely guess that Sophie has more power because Benedict is privileged and he has no qualms about throwing himself headfirst into being in love with her and making grand romantic declarations. Can someone please hand that man a mic really quick? I want to see something.
Can't take my eyes off of you.
But Sophie, having the real life circumstances and trauma, see, she's just like us, trauma of not living in the parasite class, she's not going to be so quick to just say that they should be together because she doesn't want to be a gentleman's mistress like her mother was. And she doesn't want to end up pregnant and create the next generation Sophie Baek who will have to struggle in all the same ways that she did. She's breaking the cycle one way or another. Iconic. We love her. If Benedict wants his lady in silver, he's going to have to actually work for her.
People there actually work for a living.
Now that I contemplate things further, this could be their first spark or a close recreation, because when we saw that previous teaser, when he was looking around the ballroom, it was as if he already knew exactly which person he was trying to find, which would suggest that he'd already seen her, perhaps on a staircase. What if Sophie leaves the other glove behind on purpose? Here, just have the full set. Come find me, Monsieur Capybara. Either way, it'll be fun to find out. Also, the shot of her sparkly shoes, these glitter ball heels. Let's go to the disco. Something, Benedict's disco stick.
The old ball and penis.
And we see him asking her to dance. How sweet.
It's so tasty, too.
Plans for upcoming Bridgerton coverage. Well, I always planned on finishing going through the book, though I am going to be expediting that. It used to be that I would do it 2 chapters per video, but I will likely rework that to do more chapters per video just so we can make sure that we finish on time. I had to take a break from it because I was really struggling to find room to joke around in the ways that I like to do when I'm talking about this show, because I was and am following along with things going on in the world. I quit Twitter. I feel great about that. I adopted a rescue cat from Lebanon. My patrons have already met her. But all that to say, we will have more Bridgerton videos to go through the rest of the book in the coming months, but also keep an eye out for Maxton Hall Season 2 videos, because by the time you're watching this, I will be back to working on the first review of that new bit of story, which will be coming up very soon. For the next teaser or a full trailer of Bridgerton Season 4, I'm hoping we will get to see more of Benedict and Sophie in a different scene, in a different location. Just show us something that isn't from episode 1, please. And following that, I would also like to see more of a preview of the rest of her family. Those are my girls, Katie, Michelle, and Isabella. Let me see them in action.
Bring it